My 2001 Mercedes Benz E55 AMG has a lot of problems. The previous owner installed lowering springs and sport shocks in the front that are the wrong size. The car now has a negative front rake and scrapes consistently over any kind of bump. The real ugliness happened when the front bumper got caught on something and just tore off from the side. You can get a better idea where the bumper actually got caught underneath by the left side fog light. The plan is to disassemble all bumper related components, assess the damage, and make the necessary repairs. First step in bumper removal is to unbolt the wheel well trims. There are 8mm bolts in the interior and then 10mm bolts close to the undercarriage. This car has 164,000 plus miles, so corrosion is everywhere. I'm using Craftsman overdrive sockets because they have a special design that's able to loosen bolts that are up to 70% rounded. With the hardware out, time to remove the wheel well trims and set them aside. Next is a belly pan, same drill here, a few bolts to unfasten and the pans come right off. Next are the bumper trims. These slide to the front and then pop off. The goal is to reach the back of the side marker lens to release the bulb. This vertical 10mm bolt on either side will come out next. No need to loosen the left side because it's sheared from the damage. Looking up and in, there's a long 10mm bolt that also secures each side. There are 4 8mm bolts around the top of the headlight lenses. And then there's a 13mm nut down in this cavity here, but a ratcheting box wrench makes it easy. I like to put a box underneath the bumper to prop it up while I slide it off. This enables me to unplug the fog lights and outside temp sensor with minimal drama. With the bumper removed, I wanted to conquer this broken bolt on the left side where the bumper ripped off. It wouldn't budge with the vice grips, so I cut it off with a cutting wheel, then flattened it out with my grinder, center punched it, and drilled it out. Once that was all done, I was able to dig out the remains. After that, I got out my tap set and was able to run a 6mm tap through the weld nut with no issues. The inner bumper is made up of many pieces that all work together in order to give the bumper its shape and rigidity. That being said, I don't really have a plan here. I'm going to look at everything that's broken and just repair it best I can, and it should all go back together. First thing I wanted to do was relieve the tension on the bottom of the bumper by removing the fog light. 3 8mm bolts and it comes right off. I'm warming up this bend with my heat gun and just working it with my hands. It won't ever be the true shape it's supposed to, but I can at least make it a little better. Both fog light metal brackets are bent from the impact, and the beautiful thing about metal is that you can always bend it back. Next, I see a nice crack in this plastic piece. I replaced the missing push pins and hot glued it back together. This side piece is also part of the bumper structure. I hit it with the heat gun as best I could to straighten it out, gave it the hot glue treatment, and replaced the push pins around it. Luckily, I have a collection of random body hardware. The pins I'm using are not from Mercedes Benz. They are actually from Hyundai, but they work just as well. The sides of the bumper are also problematic because they are not straight. There's a metal bracket with a plastic slide underneath. This slide engages a latch on the fender corner to pull it in tight when assembling it. Both parts are bent, so I straighten the metal bracket in the vise and the plastic slide by hand. The factory uses plastic pins with a metal speed nut to hold these in, but since I'm in a hurry, I'm just going to use push pins instead. Not the proper method, but it will work fine for now. Time to put it all back together.